Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Q&A leading up to The Walking Dead Season 7. In this one, we're going to start with the question, do I think we might end up seeing the Whisperers after all this season? And of course, spoiler warning as usual if you guys aren't caught up on The Walking Dead. So wanted to do this one kind of as an addendum to the pictures that we got. So there is the picture, of course, as you guys just saw there, of the head on a spike, so to speak, which it looks like a zombie head, but you know, it kind of brings into question, why would they show us that? Why would they show it in such a manner? I mean, even the hair color is the same as a certain character from the Walking Dead comic book series later on, and we already had the casting call go out for another leader, which was Brian, who I'll put the link in the description so you guys can check that out. If you didn't see that video, what was that, like last month or something? Yeah, that was August, so August 18th that I released that. There was some news that there was a new cast for The Walking Dead Season 7, second half, named Brian, and the description sounds a lot like Alpha, and the site that I had referenced, even, was it comicbook.com? I think it was comicbook.com. It was. They actually, you know, they had it listed as that they thought it was Alpha, or that there were so many similarities, that kind of thing, that, you know, the way that they showed it seemed like it could be Alpha. Brian just doesn't wear their emotions on their sleeve. He or she is confident, quiet, and chiefly concerned with how anything may benefit him or her and those he or she knows. So it's interesting. So I'll put the link in the description if you guys didn't see that video. I'll also put the link in the description for the pictures video, so you guys can go ahead and check out the pictures, and especially the one with the head on the spike. So it definitely reminds me of you know, one of the big parts for the Whisperers, and it's definitely something the Whisperers do. You know, it's one of their things they do to mark borders and things like that, to intimidate and scare people. The Whisperers are really brutal. They're more brutal than the Saviors. Maybe they're the most brutal group Rick and the others have ever faced. I mean, they'll cut people's heads off and then they'll put them on spikes. I mean, that's pretty brutal. There's even the action figures coming out of the 5-inch comic book series line where each figure comes with a head on a spike. That's brutal. So it's like, okay, so with the picture that was released, is it drawing a parallel between that part in the comic book series, or is it simply just a zombie head at the sanctuary on a spike? My first impression was that that's what I thought it was. Some other people don't. Some other people on Facebook, I've seen them say things like, if it was a zombie, this kind of thing, maybe its jaw would be open or something like this. You know, I don't know. I don't know if you can say just based on that, because even if it was a zombie, when they put the spike through and it destroys the brain, the zombie is going to fully die, I suppose, at that point. So there isn't enough for us to say one way or another right now. It's kind of speculation. I do think it's way too early to see the Whispers in the TV series, though. And if I have to prefer, or say what I prefer, I, to be honest, would prefer we don't see the Whispers in Season 7, because I think if they even brought them in, even if it was an Easter egg, even if it was drawing some kind of parallel, like that picture seems to, at least to me, it was my first reaction when I saw it, was that they were drawing a parallel to a huge part in the Walking Dead comic book series in the future. You know, I personally would like to see them, because Negan and the Saviors have just arrived, this is like their season, I'd like to see them add in this Brian character as some kind of new group, maybe that's after Heath and Tara, which is, it looks like that's probably what's going to happen. I think that's most likely. So I think it's pretty unlikely that we would see the Whisperers this season. But, you know, you can't rule out them putting in some Easter eggs and stuff like that for it. That said, though, it would mean that the pacing is pretty fast, because the Whisperers in the comic book series, they don't even come in until after a time skip. So there's, like, you know, stuff that happens with the Saviors, Negan, and the others in the larger world, and then there's like a 2-year time skip, and then the Whisperers start showing up. So, and they kind of travel around too. They don't just stay in one location. So for me, I don't think we're going to see the Whisperers in Season 7. However, I've been wrong before, and I didn't think we were going to see Negan in Season 6. So, and we did. They brought him in. They didn't push it into season 7. I mean, they mostly pushed it in, but they at least brought him in for his introduction without the major character death part of it, so it spills over into the season. But still, they got Negan in before, you know, the end of the season, at least as a first appearance. You know, we pissing our pants yet and all that good stuff. So what I'm saying in this video is I don't think we're going to see the Whisperers, for those of you guys who've been talking about in comments and stuff. And I hear you, I've seen you, I hear what you're saying. It definitely does look like a parallel in the picture. But I still think it's like, I don't even want to right now. I don't even want to see them right now because Negan is going to steal the freaking show this season. Saviors are going to be awesome to see. And I don't even want to think about the Whispers right now. I want the show to last a long time. I want it to get into the teens in terms of seasons. I don't want to see it end before season 10. So here I am hoping we actually don't see the Whispers. I'm hoping it's later on and they don't bring too many things in too early, which would kind of make me think that, are they like trying to catch up, maybe wrap things up or something? Is that why the pacing's so fast, you know? Something like that. Slower pacing, it can be good for, you know, like a marathon type show that's going to go into, you know, the teens in terms of seasons. Because not many shows make it to season 10, make it to season 12, 13. You know, I mean, especially shows like this, big budget shows like this, many of them don't make it that long. So let's, fingers crossed, I'd like to see as much Walking Dead as we can get. So I'm hoping we don't. But write your comments below, guys. Let me know what you think and whether or not you think they will give us at least some Easter eggs or at least some hints. Wolves not, whispers not far type of deal, or silence something. I don't know. We'll see. But write your comments below. Let me know what you guys think. I'm hoping we don't. Next question will be from Enejekdjdj Krkdjendje. That cannot be a real name. That's the best I can do to pronounce it. He or she says, "Hey Trev, just watched your DVD set review for season 6, and you mentioned there was 30,000 walkers. Well, do you think the same numbers in the comics? Do you think the Whispers, some language issues here, please forgive. I think what he's asking, or she, is that do you think that the Whispers have the same amount of zombies or walkers in their army, or do I think they have more?" I counted out on the page, so just to provide some context for people that don't know a lot about the Whispers that don't read the comic series, they're a very dangerous group. They wear zombie skins, they blend in with the dead, they survive with the dead, and they use the dead as their army. So do I think that they have 30,000 walkers? No, I don't think so. When I looked at the pages and I look at Charlie Adler's artwork, they have a huge zombie army, but it does not look like 30,000 zombies to me. It looks like maybe around 2, 3, 4, 5,000 at the max, maybe 5,000. 30,000 is a lot of zombies. That's a lot of zombies. And it also makes you think, like when you watch the season 6 set and you get that extra info from Greg Nicotero, that the zombies that made it to Alexandria in No Way Out are like a small fraction of the 30,000. Most of the 30,000 left. So Rick actually, if you think what Rick did, and it kind of gives you some retrospect in season 6, yes, there were a lot of casualties, but they proactively got rid of that 30,000 zombie herd. If he had not have done anything, you know, they could have ended up right on top of them, and then they would have wiped out Alexandria for sure. I don't think there's any way to reasonably, control 30,000 zombies if they're at your gates. I mean, how many do you guys think were? This is another comment you guys can write below. How many zombies do you think were at No Way Out? I would think like maybe 2,000 or 3,000. I'd have to look at look at some of the cuts and try to figure it out from that. But that's what I think of the ones that got to Alexandria. Most of them, it seems like, were gone, because there certainly was not 30,000 zombies at Alexandria. That's for sure. I mean, there was a lot, but 30,000? That's a lot. You ever been to a rock concert? That's like 30,000 people. For a lot of them, anyway. Next one's from Clay Mcguinness, and he says, "Hey, Trev, Q&A. Since Negan has based the Saviors on the New World Order, would you say that if the Illuminati existed after the world ended, he would be interested in being in it? LOL." So, the New World Order thing, it makes, personally for me, when he says it makes me think of WCW, like way back in wrestling in the 90s. You had like Hulk Hogan and the new NWO and stuff. But Illuminati, would Negan get along with the Illuminati, if you buy into it, this kind of internet conspiracy stuff, you're like Rothschilds and stuff. I don't think Negan would get along with them at all. They're all like wearing suits and they have like their English accents and stuff and all their money. Negan would not like them whatsoever. He would probably try to wipe them out for sure. Anyway, I'm not going to get into conspiracy stuff. That's crazy stuff. Okay, next one's from Domino12, and here she says, hey Trev, Q&A question. I might have a very good idea on how they may structure out the next few seasons. I feel that they are going to keep the first 8 episodes of season 7 very close to the comics and go through lots of story. After the mid-season finale, we are not going to have the big focus on Negan. I think Negan and the Saviors will be around, but they may just be chilling and our group can focus on surviving. I like this. This is a great comment from Domino. Then he says, once the mid-season finale of season 8 comes, then the second half of season 8 is when Rick and everybody starts to rebel against Negan, and then season 9 is all out war. What are your thoughts on this idea? It would be great because then the show would be able to go on longer. Does it look like they're doing that? It looks like they're adding in a second group to the second half of season 7, but I'm still thinking All Out War should still be in season 8 unless they add in a ton of stuff, which we'll have to see if they do that. And the last one will be from Cooper J, and he says, hey Trev, did you see that Greg Nicotero slipped up in a recent interview with Entertainment Weekly and said deaths instead of death in the season 7 premiere? Is this confirmation that there was in fact 2 deaths or accidental? By the way, the new promo pictures. I already went over all that stuff. This message was from before that. So that's from Cooper J. So he did. So in an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Greg Nicotero did say deaths for the season 7 premiere. So it's what it is. I went through some of the interviews and that kind of stuff. And he also did say that people who try to get spoilers are trying to ruin the show. And he said it's their job, like some guy in a tree taking a picture. It's his job to ruin the show, and it's my job to keep the show going. So I was kind of like, oh man, because sometimes in the past 4 I've done videos where I've covered spoilers and stuff. And I was like, kind of feeling like I don't want to ruin The Walking Dead. So, and if he thinks people who are contributing to spoilers and taking pictures and stuff are ruining The Walking Dead, then, I do my best to steer clear of spoilers. Sometimes it's hard. But, so more than 1 death in the premiere. So we'll have to wait and see if the spoilers are correct for the season 7 premiere. Best case scenario, they're not. They're wrong, and we're all surprised or something, even the people who know the spoilers. Obviously, I get to see them because they're in comments all over the place, and I see what you guys write and everything. But, yeah, it does sound like maybe he's confirmed that there'll be more than 1 death in the premiere. That said, it's that territory again that I like. Just like I just said, I don't like to get into too much because generally, they don't really like us to talk about spoilers a whole lot. So I try to respect AMC. I try to respect their wishes, and Greg Nicotero's too, because I think he does an incredible job and not get into that. So maybe he did slip up, but what can you do? They're doing interviews. How can they do interviews without giving some info? He's amazing. He does an awesome job. So that's all I got to say about him. But you guys can write your comments below with your speculation and everything. Answer the other questions like I asked below. And that'll be it for today's Q&A, guys, for The Walking Dead. Of course, we'll see you tonight for the review of Fear, as always. And if you guys liked today's video, as usual, thumb it the hell up, dudes. You can share, you can favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, bottom left to subscribe, do it. Do it. That's it for this video, guys. We'll see you again soon. As always, it's Trev. See you tonight. Stay in peace.